Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This evening, we are about to continue from where we stopped, and it's all about F1 visa mock interview. And I have some highlights I'm going to be making today, and some of those highlights would be to talk about how to deal with uh, the approach you need to use after if your visa is being approved or your visa is being denied. There's some approach you need to maybe just help yourself with. So I'll begin with uh, if your visa is being approved. First of all, what you might need to do would be first thing, once your visa is approved, as soon as you come out from the visa hall or the embassy, get in touch with your family or people you are close with, you know, whoever you are close to, get in touch with them and let them know so that that can calm down the nervousness, the tension. Then the second thing will be to notify your school in writing. Write to your school, let them know that your visa has been approved. So these are the first two things you need to do. Your family and your school. Let your school know that your visa has been approved, and then you talk about your preparation. You just simply write to your contact person in school, either your the registrar or your uh, is it a supervisor? Not a supervisor. Um, so whoever that is your contact person in school, just reach out and let them know that your visa has been approved in writing. Let them know, you just want to notify them that your visa was approved and you're going to commence your planning. Your you will be going home to start uh, making plans for your trip. Then, still at that moment after that, please try as much as you can to just be careful at that moment. After your visa has been approved, please be careful. It's not a time to be anywhere and everywhere. It's a time for you to just, um, it's a time for you to lay low because um, a lot of times people think, okay, oh, because you've been granted visa, you can do anything you want. Uh, whatever you can do uh, before your visa was approved, please don't do it after your visa was approved. And it's not everybody who celebrates you. So there are some people that don't even need to know about your visa approval. There are some people that don't need to know. They probably need to maybe hear it from they probably need to hear it from some mutual friends or maybe see your updates on your social media. Not everybody deserves to have such information, but those who deserve it, please accord them that. Normally, I encourage people to, when you're going for interview, I always encourage people to not to tell anybody. I made that mistake in my during my interviews, and at some point I stopped telling people, and that gave me the space not to worry so much, because most of the tensions, most of the situations we go through come from the excessive demands, excessive expectations that we have. And English people call it anticipation, a combination of anticipation and disappointment. So when you create so much expectation and then it doesn't arrive at what you want, the chances are higher that you're going to have this kind of disappointment, which they call anticipation, combo of disappointment and uh, anticipation. So I don't want you to go through that. So the best and the safest method, when you're planning for your visa interview, is not to tell anybody. Everybody doesn't have to know about what you're planning. People will celebrate success. Only your enemies celebrate your failures. So because you don't know who is who, just don't discuss it. Don't tell everybody. Tell only those who need to know, who really mean well for you, so that you don't have to go through any pressure. People asking you and calling you, did you make it or you don't make it? When you don't tell anybody, nobody knows, and you don't have to explain. So this is one of the things I needed to mention. So like I said, there are two ways to it. When your visa is being approved, that's what I'm talking about now. So you talk to your family, talk to your school, and then keep your composition, start making your plans about how to start coming back, get your ticket from that airport, from that visa interview. That's when you go and start planning for your ticket within the 24 hours after you got your visa. You start planning, after you got your visa approved, 24 hours, you start making plans for your tickets. Then try and get a contact person. Every state in the US has a Nigerian community, at least most of them. Even if you don't have directly from the school, find out within the school. Google about Nigerian community around your school or Nigerian students around your school. Find out. Or you can also ask the contact person in your school how you can get in touch with any Nigerian. That will help you in your planning, because a good number of people, when they come in here in the US, if you don't have anybody to help you adjust and help you look around for some stuff, you're going to be lonely, and it's going to be very depressing sometimes. So just some of those little contacts can help. And if you have friends, just keep in touch with them and see however they can help you get stuff. And while you're planning for your visa, I always encourage people, even when you're planning for your visa, start reading about the DMV, that is the motor licensing. Every state has theirs. It's called dmv.gov. Google it and start learning about the driving examination, the driving lessons of the state where you're going to, because the reason why you need to do that is you need a state ID, a state issued ID. So either you do it by getting a driver's license or you do it by getting a state issued ID. But I usually encourage people, why going for a state issued ID when you can get a driver's license, which is a higher equivalent of that. So I encourage you to start reading about it, so that when you come in here, you can just go for your driving lessons and get your paper and get your license. And when you get into school, you can follow from that. So I'll stop at that about if your visa is approved. Then if your visa is denied, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. It is not a test of your intelligence or an assessment of your failure. It's simply an opportunity for you to retool yourself, learn from the experiences, and know what to do. So when your visa is denied, usually people, that very day will be like the day that you were cast out from this world. You're going to feel so depressed. You want to shut down everything. You want to hate people. You start thinking about yourself. Are you useful or are you useless? You start thinking about, why did God even create you? So many things will come into your mind. At that moment, I still encourage you. Two things you still need to do, like you did when your visa is being approved. It's still the same thing you need to do. First call would be to call your most trusted person, anybody who understands you, any friend you have or any family member you have who understands you most. Call that person. When you call that person, let the person know what happened. Empty out. If you need to cry, feel free. It's better you cry it out than holding it behind. So let it out with the person, share that feelings with the person, and make sure that this person you're calling is genuine in their love for you. Then after that, the next thing you do will be to contact your school. Reach out to your school via an email. Hey, Miss This or Mr. This, I just want to notify you that my visa was not approved. Then if you have another plan, you can say, okay, I'm going to be rescheduling for another interview, or I'm going to defer my admission for the next session. These are two ways you can approach it. Very simple line. I'll keep you posted with developments and updates, period. So if you're applying within that same period, then it simply means you can still use the same I-20. But if it's not within that same session, you need to contact your school to get your I-20 updated. So these are all the nuances you need to do. Get your school to update your I-20. Then another thing you need to do while you are getting this bad feeling is not to just, there's this temptation to go in and shut down yourself. And that's where the problem comes. Once you just go in to shut down yourself, cut yourself off from people, the depression, the experience will hit you harder. So the best thing is see it as part of growth, see that disappointment as part of the experience to make you a better person, and then look for something meaningful to do. Usually, I encourage people to do that to fix their interviews, usually during work hours or during a time that they will still have something to do so that you can easily forget that moment. But from time to time, it's going to be hitting on you, but it will last maybe within 48 hours, as the case may be. With all the expenses involved now, it's going to be harder and more difficult to deal with. So you need distractions to get you off. Otherwise, if you go in to shut down yourself, to go inside the room, it's going to make you feel so bad. And you don't want to get involved in anything that will make you angry. Some people at that moment, they feel like, okay, God has abandoned me. Let me just go and do something that I've been promising God. For those of us, for some people who are Christians or who are Muslims, who be like, oh, God, I want you to do this. And then you fast and pray for that. As soon as it fails, you switch 360 degrees against God and you want to go and do the opposite of everything. That is not a time to give up on God. It's a time for you to become stronger again, to be faithful to those prayers, because not all prayers according to God's will are answered immediately. Some will be like, hold on, and some will be like, approved. Some will be like, this is not my plan for you, I have a bigger plan for you. So when you make prayers and ask God for something and it doesn't come the way you want, do not give up. That is not a moment to give up. So I'm saying this just to help to support some of our brothers and sisters who might be going through this situation. It is not because you are not intelligent or you are not smart. And like I always say, passing a visa interview is not because you are intelligent. In fact, intelligent people don't pass visa interviews, only smart people do. And in the next sessions about interviews, you will see why I said that. So follow us in these interview sessions so you see why I made that comment. And so that'll be it for now. And if I have more updates regarding this approach before and after visa interviews, I would want to I will get you posted with that. And another thing also that I also encourage people to do, on the night when you are preparing for your visa interview, please turn off your phone and go into sober reflection about your visa processing. It's not a time you just be on the phone, you make all the calls. In the morning, you're going to wear out. And your VO will see it like, oh, did this person actually sleep well? So when you sleep early, go to bed early if you can, but cut off your communication. And when you wake up in the morning, it's not a time for you to start making calls and doing all that. You get into the visa hall distressed or distraught. So the only thing you need to do is cut off communication until after the interview and keep everything secret and private. Secret doesn't kill you, and keeping things private to yourself doesn't kill. So this is just what I needed to share concerning your preparation before visa interview and your preparation if your visa and your approach, assuming if your visa was approved or your visa is being denied. These are just some of the approach. And then we now go into visa mock sessions right now. So I have all of you here listening to me. Thank you for your patience. Femi, Brian, Ebube, Udeme, and Ewa Olua, Gift, Timidayo, Naomi, Olani, AME, Victory, AY Media. So I just want to thank all of you for being here. I don't know who is ready, who wants to go first. All right, Udemy, you want to go first? Let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right, just for you to know, please, just if you want to go for interview, just raise your hand so that I'll pick it up from there. If you want to go for interview, just raise your hand. I'll pick it up from there. Okay. All right. So good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm good. So is this your first visa interview?
No, this is my first visa interview.
Okay. What number?
I didn't get you, pardon?
Yeah. Have you been denied before?
Yes, I have.
How long ago?
I didn't get you.
How long ago? When?
I was denied May 2023.
Okay. And what was the reason?
I wasn't able to demonstrate my intent of going to the US.
You want to talk about it?
No, actually.
Do you know why I'm asking?
No.
I can't solve your problem if I don't know what your background was. Does it make sense?
I wasn't able to.
Yeah, so take me through the interview. What were you asked? And what did you say?
That's why I was denied.
Yeah, so what were you asked?
I was asked, the first question was if I've traveled to the US before. And my answer was no, I haven't traveled to the US before.
Hold on. First of all, I just want to let all of you know that this mock interview is recorded live, is streamed live, and conversations I'm going to be asking, your personal information will not be part of this conversation. So I'll do as much as I can not to ask you personal information, and I would not want you to talk about your personal information. And should there be any reason why you don't want to have this conversation here on live stream, please feel free to decline or feel free to just listen on the side. Okay, so the reason why I'm recording it is for you to fall back to it and listen to yourself and see how I'm being addressing your case. Okay. All right, so they asked you about if you
asked if I've traveled there before. My answer was no, I haven't traveled out of the country before because I haven't had the reason to. Well, the next question was, what is my reason for going to the US? And the answer I gave them was, I want to go to the US to further my education. Then they asked which school am I going to? I told them I was going to the University of Texas at San Antonio. They asked what do I want to major in? I said computer and information sciences. The next question was, who is going to sponsor my education? My answer was my parents. Then the next question was, what do my parents do? My answer that my parents are.
Don't mention that. You don't have to mention that.
Okay.
You answered what your parents were doing, and then
I was asked, why do I want to study computer? Yes. Then they asked, what do I want to do with computer science? And I told her that I want to study computer science. The answer I gave them, I can't really remember what I said, but my answer was, I want to study computer science because it comes across different aspects of the world endeavor and of the computer scientists at this place in every industry. And I would love to come back, return to my own country, my knowledge of computer science that help improve the state of the country. This is lacking behind in technology. And that was my interview.
All right. Did you learn any lessons from that experience?
Yes, I learned.
What did you?
First, I wasn't smiling. When I kept the straight face. But what I can remember, I wasn't smiling. And I wasn't making, the interview wasn't conversational because at first the view wasn't looking at my face. He was just typing on it. And before that, everyone in front of me, because I could hear what they are doing as well. So I think that tension got built up. Even the person in front of me got denied. So I feel that also caused a lot of tension for me. And I wasn't sounding so confident enough.
Yeah, but that so does not mean that you will be denied, because according to what you said, you are not able to substantiate